It's Friday, December 19th. In the headlines, parents urge to keep children safe this Christmas. Regionally, in Barbados, employers are being urged to prioritize disability inclusion. And in sports, Reggae Boys could face Nigeria as FIFA reviews Congo eligibility case. This is the Weekend News on PBC Jamaica. I am Danita Rodney. The Jamaica Constabulary Force is urging parents to closely monitor their children during the Christmas holiday, especially in communities badly affected by Hurricane Melissa. The warning comes as some families remain displaced, with police cautioning that children are particularly vulnerable during periods of disruption and temporary relocation. Speaking at a recent JIS think tank, head of the JCF's Constabulary Communications Network, Senior Superintendent of Police Delia Garrick, says children are especially vulnerable when routines and living situations change. She stresses open conversations about inappropriate behavior so children feel safe sharing concerns. SSP Garrick also warns of emotional trauma and new water hazards after heavy rainfall. As the holiday approaches, the JCF urges vigilance and communication to protect children's physical and emotional safety. The Jamaica Fire Brigade is urging residents to take extra care with their Christmas lights this holiday season, warning that improper use could spark fires. Officials say, following manufacturers' guidelines, limiting the number of sets per socket and using LED lights could help keep homes safe during the festive period.
We have the situation with Christmas lights is that they have a plug-in. All of them provide a plug-in. So when you plug one into a socket, that provides a plug-in. It's either on the plug-in section itself that you plug in, or it provides an extension. I've seen some of them where they provide an extension on the lights for you to plug other lights in. What that does is that if you're not careful, it leads to overloading of a circuit. So, generally speaking, from the Jamaica Fire Brigade, no more than 3 sets of lights, should be plugged in at any time into one socket. No more than 3 sets of lights. So that's 3 strings of light. No more should be plugged into one socket. When it comes to the Christmas lights, don't leave the lights unattended either. If you are plugging those lights in for inside, for example, and you're stringing them around a tree, you also need to make sure that the tree is one that can manage the heat that is coming from the bulbs that you'll be wrapping around them. The older style bulbs tend to produce more heat. As we're moving more into LEDs, those produce less heat and are, generally speaking, safer. Always follow the manufacturer's specifications when it comes to lights. Indoor lights are not suited for outdoors. The indoor lights do not have the kind of protection to protect against the elements, the rain especially, and the water that will go into some areas, and those can cause short-circuiting of your electrical systems, which can start a fire. So outdoor lights are to be used for outdoors, and indoor lights are to be used for indoors.
Ghana has sent a military contingent to assist with reconstruction and relief efforts following the destruction caused by Hurricane Melissa over a month ago. This marks the 3rd time this year that Ghana has extended support to nations in crisis after previously providing humanitarian aid to Jamaica, Sudan, Gaza, and Cuba. The troops, drawn from the Ghana Armed Forces, will support disaster response operations, including debris clearance, humanitarian assistance, and community rebuilding in some of the hardest hit areas. Government says the deployment reflects the strong diplomatic ties between Jamaica and Ghana, rooted in shared history and cultural heritage, and underscores cooperation in times of crisis. The Ghanaian troops are expected to work alongside local security forces, emergency responders, and disaster agencies as restoration efforts continue across the island. Jamaica this week honored a cultural giant whose voice helped define the nation on the world stage. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the late James Jimmy Cliff Chambers was far more than an entertainer, describing him as a messenger who carried out Jamaica's story of struggle, resilience, and hope to the global community. The Prime Minister was speaking at a service of celebration for the reggae legend at the National Indoor Sports Center on Wednesday. Giving his tribute to the reggae legend, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness described Jimmy Cliff as far more than an entertainer.
Jimmy Cliff was more than a singer. He was more than a songwriter. He was more than an actor. He was more than a performer. Jimmy Cliff was a messenger, one who carried the story of this small island with all its struggles, resilience, faith, and beauty to the widest possible audience and ensured that Jamaica was heard, recognized, and respected.
Dr. Holness says Cliff's work was not just entertainment, but affirmations of dignity, perseverance, and hope.
These are global music for all people all over the world. These songs were affirmations of dignity. They were declarations of perseverance. They were reminders that even in hardship, hope remains possible. Jimmy Cliff did not merely entertain the world. Jimmy Cliff uplifted the world.
He also reflected on classics like Many Rivers to Cross, saying the song was born out of frustration but became a source of comfort and hope for millions.
But like a true artist, he channeled this frustration into words that carried such powerful meaning. It is his own frustration that, when crafted into the artistry, that opened the doors.
Other tributes poured in at the service of celebration in forms of dance and song, one of which was from former backup singer Tessan Chin.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cliff. Thank you for all you've done. No, 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 no.
The Christmas holiday can be a stressful time of the year and can be detrimental to your health. And as such, it is important that we find coping mechanisms. Shannon Matthews took to the streets to find out how people handle their stress.
How do you cope with stress?
I cope with stress by being with nature. I like to read, talking to my friends, listening to music. For nature, immediately I come to Hope Gardens, surrounded by the beautiful trees, the birds making noise, and just walking around, relieving that type of stress, taking deep breaths, exhaling and stuff like that. I like to read self-awareness books that teaches me where I can learn something from to grow myself and my mind and how I deal with people, because my job is stressful, so I need that to alleviate that type of stress when dealing with people.
I'm a gamer, so I tend to game a lot, playing FIFA, Call of Duty sometimes on my phone, Sometimes I watch some reels, IG, YouTube. It's good to have some comedic relief in your life, so, laugh a little. Yeah, that's pretty much how I handle my stress.
To be honest, I listen to music, play video game, sometimes I drink. But drinking is not the right way, I learned that since lately, so the stress will still be there. So sometimes you have to just speak to a good friend who you can trust, talk about it, relax, pray. Yeah, and listen to music. Music is life, Yeah.
Stress can drive you insane. Once it gets to you mentally, it will take advantage of you. So I try to put everything in God's hand and handle it the best way I can, step by step, slowly but surely. I try to focus on what's most important and avoid letting it get the best of me.
With me now, I always listen to music. If it is not country music, reggae music, pop, soul, anything that I am a music girl, so I always listen to music and those stuff. So that is how I cope with stress.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, here to bring you the stories shaping the financial world and guiding your journey to smarter business decisions. Let's dive into the top headlines. In respect to the demand for eggs, Vice President of the High Pro Division of the Jamaica Broilers Group, Colonel Jamie Ogilvie, says replacement stock has already been secured, allowing production levels to bounce back in time for the holiday rush when demand for poultry products traditionally peaks. Colonel Ogilvie said the self-sufficient table egg industry lost more than 450,000 layers, or half of its productive capacity, describing the impact as by far the most devastating blow to the sector. He noted that nearly 20% of the birds lost during the hurricane have already been replaced and returned to the market. Acknowledging the continued demand for birds, the Vice President said additional farmers have been contracted to help meet local needs. But he explained that while rebuilding of the domestic industry is ongoing, the importation of eggs has already begun to stabilize supply. He said the Egg Farmers Association will be distributing the imported eggs to its customers as part of efforts to rebuild their businesses. The Bank of Jamaica, BOJ, is reporting net profits of $23 billion for the year to date, November 26. This is slightly higher than the $20.5 billion generated as at November 25 last year. This was due to an increase in its foreign assets to $985 billion this year, mainly because its foreign bonds and long-term securities climbed to $56 billion from $54 billion last year. The bank's time deposits also jumped to $890.3 billion from $802.6 billion, while its special drawing rights with the International Monetary Fund zipped to $38.8 billion from $6 billion. For the trading period ending December 18, 2025, these were the most actively traded stocks. Kintyre Holdings Jamaica Limited with 4,094,439 units, representing 19.03% of market sales volume. Pan Jamaica Group Limited with 2,504,019 units, representing 11.64% of market sales volume. Trans Jamaica Highway Limited with 1,847,249 units, representing 8.59% of market sales volume. We now shift our focus to the Forex market rate set by the Bank of Jamaica. On December 18, 2025, the Bank of Jamaica reported US $69.99 million purchased and US $47.22 million sold by Forex traders. Forex traders earned $1.88 per dollar, selling the US at $160.59 and buying the US at $158.71. The Canadian dollar netted Forex traders 91 cents per transaction, with selling at $115.03 and buying at $115.94. The British pound yielded Forex traders $6.05 in profits, with selling at $216.42 and buying at $210.37. For our credit report tip of the day, financial wellness training helps employees eliminate debt and manage their income more effectively, which directly supports sustained productivity during periods of national and economic stress. When workers understand how to reduce high-interest debt, stabilize cash flow, and plan for expenses, they are less distracted, more focused, and better able to perform under pressure. For HR, structured financial wellness training provides a practical, low-burden way to reduce payroll advance requests, absenteeism, and disengagement while reinforcing workforce stability. By tracking indicators such as focus, attendance, and retention over 60 to 90 days, HR can show that helping employees gain control of their finances is a measurable strategy for keeping productivity high when organizations need it most. And that wraps up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, reminding you that every financial decision is a step toward your future. Until next time, stay focused, stay informed, and keep striving for success. See you soon.
In regional news, we begin with news from Barbados. Employers are being urged to move beyond policies and the paperwork and take meaningful steps towards genuine inclusion for people with disabilities. The call was made at the second Employers Disability Sensitivity Training Workshop, which brought together business leaders, policymakers, and the Minister of Labour. CBC News' Deanza Roberts reports.
The workshop focused on creating work environments where persons with disabilities are valued. Minister of Labour Colin Jordan emphasized that disability is not a marginal issue.
We must also remember a crucial fact. Disability is not an other issue. It is a human issue. Any one of us at any time can acquire a disability through an accident, illness, or simply through the process of aging. And for those who still feel young, and who may still be young, our society is an aging one. And there will be more of the older ones than there are of the younger ones very, very soon.
He said government has recently strengthened legislation aimed at protecting the rights of persons with disabilities, but stressed that true inclusion goes beyond compliance.
But ladies and gentlemen, legislation on its own cannot transform a society. We cannot legislate good manners. We cannot legislate good attitudes. We can legislate good outward behavior. What our society and our country needs is people who feel and are convinced of the need to be inclusive with respect to persons, people living with disabilities.
Also addressing the workshop was Head of Office United Nations Resident Coordinator Kenra Roach. He said inclusion begins with changing how society thinks about disability.
Inclusive hiring is not only about changing policies, it is about changing mindsets and creating workplaces that are fair, productive, and reflective of societies we serve. Minister, your presence here today sends a clear signal of government's commitment that persons with disabilities in Barbados must enjoy equal rights and opportunities.
Mr. Roach highlighted the urgency of action noting that the world is now just 5 years away from the Sustainable Development Goals, which include leaving no one behind.
With 5 years to go for the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals, the work we're doing here is extremely important because one of the key tenets or pillars of the SDGs, as you know, is leaving no one behind. And this is a good demonstration of the efforts that are being made here in Barbados. And like I said, hopefully it will inspire actions around the Caribbean to ensure we really live and abide by the commitments of the Sustainable Development Goals.
As Barbados continues its push towards inclusive development, speakers agree that employers play a critical role in ensuring that persons with disabilities are not just present in the workforce, but empowered within it. Deanne Roberts, CBC News.
In the Bahamas, a partnership aimed at ending years of power woes in the family islands is coming into clearer focus. Government and its private sector partner are moving ahead with modern solar microgrid set to roll out across several islands over the next 2 years. Joshua Williams looks at how the project could finally stabilize energy and cut costs for thousands of residents.
It's no secret that sunlight can help produce sustainable and environmentally friendly energy, and one company hopes solar power will help address energy issues in the family islands. Government signing a $45 million agreement for a Bahamian-Canadian solar partnership to provide solar to Cat Island, Long Island, and San Salvador recently. Canadian energy company Roswell is leading the technical side. Here's President and CEO Dan Roscoe.
Roswell was founded by with a goal to help not only further renewable energy in our home province of Nova Scotia on the east coast of Canada, but to export the experience that we have in Nova Scotia in transitioning to renewable energy to places that desperately need it, like the Bahamas.
But how does sunlight convert to energy?
Battery systems are quickly changing the way that we produce electricity. They are faster and better in almost every aspect than their fossil fuel counterparts. So they, along with the solar, combine to make a very powerful electricity and a reliable electricity source.
Earlier this year, the Davis administration released a comprehensive energy report launching its energy reform. They've also partnered with several international partners, Roswell being the latest. Roscoe understands the local speculations partnerships like this can bring.
Not only have we focused on adoption of renewable energy, but on the local ownership of renewable energy. The local resources that we have both in Nova Scotia and Canada and in the Bahamas are great, but the benefits of developing those resources should stay here, should stay local.
They're doing their part to outfit our family islands with solar energy. You at home can continue to educate yourselves about solar energy and other forms of renewable energy. Reporting for Our News and reminding you to put sustainability first, I'm Joshua Williams.
St. Kitts is being highlighted as one of the Caribbean's fastest rising holiday destination for 2026, according to a new report from British Airways Holidays. SKN Newsline's Glenn Barrett tells us more.
A British Airways Holidays report classified St. Kitts as a destination with rising popularity and demand in holiday package searches for travel in 2026. The recent BA Holidays press release places St. Kitts among well-known destinations such as Bermuda, Turks and Caicos, Antigua, Grenada, and Costa Rica among the Caribbean's destinations listed in the report. The report notes that St. Kitts is currently in second position, registering a 31% increase in demand. Ahead is Bermuda, which registers a 38% increase. In third position is Turks and Caicos Islands at 22%, Grenada with 20%, Costa Rica at a 15% increase in demand. Antigua is at 8% in demand. The report seems to point to travelers seeking authenticity, with cultural themes being important, along with the ability to have a relaxing holiday. Glenn Bart reporting for SKN Newsline.
In sports, we spotlight football. Jamaica's Reggae Boys could now face Nigeria in a decisive battle for a place at the 2026 FIFA World Cup, pending a ruling by football's world governing body. The development comes after Nigeria filed a formal complaint to FIFA alleging that the Democratic Republic of Congo fielded ineligible players during last month's African playoff final. Jamaica is set to face New Caledonia in March's Interconfederation playoff, with the winner due to meet DR Congo. However, that matchup could change if FIFA upholds Nigeria's protests. Congo has dismissed the claim as an attempt to win through the back door. FIFA is yet to rule, but the decision could impact Jamaica's path to the World Cup. Trinidad and Tobago's Women's League Football United hope to grab the country's first victory in the Jewels of the Caribbean Football Tournament Matchday 2 when they met Jamaica in the Under-20 division. This follows defeat for the Trinidad and Tobago Under-17 team and the Secondary Schools Football League Future Stars on opening day.
The Attleboro Stadium in Couva hosted Match Day 2 of the 2025 Jewels of the Caribbean Football Tournament as women's football continues to take center stage. Tuesday saw action in the Under-20 division as Trinidad and Tobago Women's League Football United, a team comprising of this country's best domestic league players, hosted Caribbean rivals and defending champions Jamaica. A smooth attacking move by Jamaica wouldn't go in vain as Destiny Powell's save shot was put away by Alicia Stevenson. 1-0 to the Reggae Girls. Jamaica exploited the holes in the Wolf United defense when Powell played in a free Maya Raghunandanan, who extended the lead to 2. Raghunandanan then went on a brilliant run, holding off Akila Gomez to get a shot off, which rung the net. 3-0 to the Reggae Girls. Tobago attacker Jalisha Alexander did well to create a shooting opportunity, but her effort went wayward. It was another poor defensive display by Wolf United, who afforded Jamaica's number 8 the time and space to find captain Cox McPherson, who buried a shot. It was a first half to forget for Wolf United, who went in the dressing room 4-0 down at the interval. Anthony Smith continued to torment the home team, stretching the lead to 5 in the 64th. The Reggae Girls would grab a 6th, courtesy Ciara Mitchell in the 90th minute, to round off a dominant 6-0 win over TNT Wolf United. Adrian Lazar, TTT Sport.
Staying with Jewels of the Caribbean action, US-based Indie Premier Sports Club matched their Under-17 team and began their campaign with a win in the Under-20 division. Indie met a strong Trinidad and Tobago outfit at the Attleboro Stadium.
Trinidad and Tobago senior women's football team head coach Damian Briggs served as coach for a strong Under-20 team who made their tournament bow in the Jewels of the Caribbean Football Tournament. Captained by Caitlin Darwin, the local-based team took on Indie Premier Sports Club in the Under-20 division on Match Day 2. TNT did well in the opening stages to get the game's first item, but lacked the composure in front of goal. A poor attempt at playing out from the back by TNT goalkeeper Sadiel Antoine opened the opportunity for Tori Brewer to smash the ball in an open net. 1-0 to Indie Premier. TNT went in search of an equalizer but were unable to test the Indie goalkeeper as the home team went in a goal down at half-time. The visitors doubled their advantage in the second half with a contender for goal of the tournament by Candice Cornard, a strike that was just too strong for the hands of Antoine. In search of a way back into the contest, TNT forced a strong save from the Indie goalkeeper. However, it wasn't to be for the national ladies, who failed to get back into the contest, going 2-0 down to Indie Premier Sports Club. Adrian Lazar, TTT Sport.
That's the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. And from our family to yours, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.